Cancer, the moon is in Aries and she's asking us to look at where you were afraid to take that next step, or where you've been frustrated with where the journeys have been at, any delays or things, and how can we take what we've learned from those times and apply them to the upcoming lunar cycle and turn these delays and things into strengths and setbacks into strength. So stay tuned to find out how to work with these energies. But before we jump into that, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just inspirational, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and know that whenever you come across this channel, you are synced up with the moon, or with this video and with this channel, when the moon loves that. But also, for those of you who are new to this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot cards based on our ruler here, the good old moon. And this is Rhonda, and I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, what she's going to avoid, of course, is all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you. Leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Oh. Let's also be aware of our space, which has been cleansed, Cancer. And crystals, they're feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And Cancer, depending on when you're watching this, happy Venus Day. Venus is associated with Fridays, and this is a great day for doing those Venusian things. Go take a self-care day there, Cancer. Go get your nails done. Go take a bath. Go appreciate the beauty around you there, Cancer. Go to an art museum. Go appreciate the beauty in nature. Go appreciate the beauty of a great conversation, Cancer. This can be going out with friends, going on dates. I don't know your life, Cancer. I'd see you in Gemini season. But this could be maybe even setting up like a business lunch with your business partners, future prospects, whatever this is looking like there, Cancer. Live it up. Enjoy this time, and really just, again, make sure to just kind of take care of yourself and being receptive to your needs, and making sure that we're also practicing that energy of reciprocity, that we're not just receiving all the time, that we're also giving as well. I remember when I got my hair braided, I was getting a lot of compliments on that, and where it was nice to get that stuff, I was like, okay, well, I don't want to just hold on to this. Let's spread this stuff around. Let's, make these little comments. They go a long way, Cancer. So just some things to think about with this. And also, Cancer, while we got all this great energy here, depending on when you're watching this, the moon is entering into Aries, and she'll be entering there at about 8:28 p.m., and that'll be Pacific time. And she is in a waning crescent phase, or a balsamic moon. Now, with the moon being in Aries, this can be one where I feel it's an interesting combination here, because, when you consider Aries and you're thinking about that Mars energy, you're normally thinking action. We're going, we're taking that adventure, we're taking that leap, we're not thinking twice about it, we're not thinking once about it. But with the waning crescent phase, we're more so in a reflective point. And I feel that this can really be a time where we are looking at maybe those times where we've second guessed ourselves. Maybe when you're going to maybe ask that person out, maybe it's going to ask that boss for the promotion, or maybe it's to, maybe go for that different job, or start up your own business, maybe start a family, whatever this is, however this may be applying for you here. Ooh, interesting. Ooh, very heavy Martian themes. Take care of yourself. We'll get into that in a second, Cancer. But I do feel like it's not looking at those areas and looking at them with judgment, but it's seeing what information can we take from that to use that to build ourselves up to go forward in this next upcoming lunar cycle. That we can utilize that as fuel, because the thing when we're thinking with Aries as well, it's not just about that. Yes, Aries is one that just goes, has that impulse, takes action, very leader, initiatory type of oriented sign. But Aries, when I'm thinking about like the Emperor, the card that's associated with Aries, it's usually this mature figure that's associated with the Emperor. And I feel that the Emperor, yes, he does know when to take action, but he also knows when to take a seat, when to breathe for a second, when to rest, and to build up his energies. And that's where I feel this can be a really great time over these next few days while the moon is getting towards this new moon, to really kind of tune into the body when we're thinking about getting in, when we're thinking about Aries, and just kind of really kind of feel where there's tension. I'm really kind of getting here, Cancer, and seeing if we can connect with those feelings in a different type of way, seeing if we can find some answers into that. This can be, usually when we're thinking of Aries, we're thinking, like I was saying, we're thinking fast-paced energy. Instead of, I would say, going for a run could be useful. Maybe this is doing some kickboxing, especially if you have a lot of pent-up energy and frustration that you can be dealing with. Finding some healthy outlets like that can be really great. Sometimes just getting out there, having a wide open space for the energies just to be released can be very cathartic. But this could be where we're doing things like more like Tai Chi, or maybe doing like, yoga, or even just some mindful walking, whatever this is looking like, just maybe sitting underneath something where the body is in just very mindful motion. This could be even maybe tuning into when you're, I'm even just thinking about doing just some household chores, but even making those more of even an intentional place, paying attention to how we're moving the body, and, whatever this is looking like there, Cancer. But I feel a lot of answers can really come up when we're tuning in like that, and when we allow ourselves to kind of disconnect from the mind and kind of drop into the body a little bit, tune in to where we may again have some kind of energy blockages, or where some things maybe are feeling tense and needing to be moved. So, because I'm even thinking too, we're being water energy. You want to look where stuff has been, stagnant here, Cancer. So, just some things I feel like, some ways that maybe you can work with this new moon with this waning crescent in Aries. And check too, Cancer, to see where this energy is happening in your chart. When the moon is traveling through Aries, for me, she's ending up on the tail end of my 8th house, but it's the Aries is the cusp ruler of my 9th house. And so that's usually a time for me when I'm just kind of saying yes. That's yes to adventure. That's where you want to try that new Ethiopian place. Absolutely. You want to go to that beach on the other side of town. Sure. You want to, do you want to read this whatever this is looking like, because we're thinking Aries and 9th house stuff, that's Sagittarius house. It's just looking where I sometimes looks where I've gotten monotonous, where I can break out, where maybe I've had a course that I've been meaning to start in it, which I actually do. I have a course that I'm meaning to start, so now I'm going to start that up and really get into that and really kind of solidify that knowledge more. And there's some other things that I'm actually planning on doing during this energy as well, making some adjustments. So yeah, those are just some things. And if you're curious about how to work more intimately with these energies in your chart there, Cancer, book a reading with me. I have links down in the description box below. Like I would say, especially if you have Cancer in your big three, your sun sign, moon sign, rising sign. But I feel like even in your personal plans, we're talking about now Mercury, Venus, and Mars as well. But knowing like the lunar return chart, and knowing that's your monthly chart when the moon is forming a conjunction with your natal chart, and we'll talk about conjunctions in a second, but when the moon's forming a conjunction with your natal moon, and it gives you an idea of the emotional landscape that's coming up for you. My lunar return had been going through the 8th house this month, and has been a lot of intense emotions, a lot of change, a lot of things about thinking about how I'm sharing my energies, thinking about even energy, and not necessarily when we're getting into Scorpio, that's like we're talking about shared assets and shared energies and stuff. And paying attention to those themes and where my energies can even be a little big, because I know where my Leo can be a lot of fun, a lot of uplifting. There are other times where it can be channeled a bit different. It can be a lot of sunlight, and it's where it's, instead of soothing, it's just hot. And so that's just something I've been aware of it, but it's just like to really kind of pay attention to that a little bit more and understand the nuances of that and kind of dig into that, explore that energy a little bit deeper. So, this is where, and even too, Cancer, we're coming up on Cancer season here soon. So this is an excellent time to be looking into your solar return, seeing what's coming up for you for the year. The solar return is where, just a little brief thing, it's where your sun is every year. It's going to be in the same sign, just like with how it is in the lunar return. Same sign of Cancer, same degree, but it could be in a different house. And like, it could be like how my moon's natally is normally in the 10th house, but this time the themes that I'm focused on emotionally are the 8th house. I've been taking a peek at what's coming up on my on my solar return this year. And my son's going to be in the 12th house, which I'm already familiar with, because my son is in the 12th house in Cancer. So the only difference is now that it's actually it's conjunct my ascendant. So a lot of interesting things that I'm going to be seeing for the year. I'm going to be synced up with the moon in a real deep kind of way. So I'm really excited for that. Really kind of in this Cancer. I'm in a lot of water energy going to be in this year. So that's going to be really exciting time. Kind of tend to my emotional needs. Saturn's got some big plans for my midheaven. It's actually just got me thinking about where I'm planning on grounding myself, where I'm taking myself to next. And it gives you too, like, where astrology is not meant to be where it's controlling your life, but it's meant to help you to ask yourself these questions. These are, look at these themes a little bit closer, give you a bit of more of assistance, some guidance, so you don't feel so like you're just kind of wandering in things, Cancer. So just some things to think about if that's something that resonates with you. Now, last little thing before we get into this energy, I want to talk about the void of course moon. And the moon's going to be going void of course on Sunday, the 2nd of June. And this is going to be a pretty lengthy one, Cancer. She'll be void of course from 3:03 p.m. until 10:55 p.m. And she'll be moving from Aries into the sign that she is exalted in, Taurus. Now, the void of course is when the moon forms her final aspect with a celestial body. And we're talking about the aspects, the conjunction, the trine, sextile, square, and opposition. And it's usually when after that there's no energy that's there. This is usually time for resting, for reflecting. I like to think of it as this is where the themes from this chapter in Aries are starting to become a memory, where we're getting into where we're in that energy of self-reflection. What did we learn while we were in this phase and during this time in Aries? What had came up? How did this apply to this overarching theme of this lunar cycle for me? What did that mean? And this can be a great time too, if you have yourself just, if you find or can take the time just to kind of, again, to go within, Cancer, be with yourself, cleanse your energies. And the thing with the void of course too, this usually takes on whatever aspect she had formed. Usually it takes on the form. The void of course takes on the flavor of that union. And the aspect that was formed was with Mars. She had a conjunction with Mars. And the conjunction is where the planets are within 0 to 3 degrees of each other, depending on the orb that you use. And it's a fusion of energies. The moon it's an interesting fusion of energies, because the moon is a softer energy, whereas Mars is a harder energy. And so this could be where themes pop up. And this is where I say can be a really great time to get some answers as far as to like maybe some unconscious motivations possibly here when we're thinking about these Martian energies. Really kind of tune into your gut. Why have certain fears been coming up? Why when we think about this we get this cramp feeling, this nauseous feeling, this whatever this feeling that may be coming up for you. Tune into the stomach, Cancer. Cancer is associated with the chest or the breast or the womb and the stomach. So if you have any feelings coming up in those areas, tune into that. There can be a lot of answers that can come up for you when you try to sit and see how that energy is moving. But this could be where you could really feel blockages within yourself, really kind of see where maybe even these are blockages that aren't yours, but maybe even something that you've taken on from someone else around you. Cancer and water energy in general is very receptive. And so this I feel can be just, yeah, great time to find out who you are again, where you've been acting on, and get yourself recalibrated, and really, again, kind of dive into the body. I would say if there are any sort of frustrations and things that are coming up, finding, again, some sort of healthy outlets for that, because I feel if you keep things pent up, this could potentially come out into, it always finds a way to get out when we're talking with Mars. This could be through confrontation with others. This could come out in maybe we're driving a bit more aggressively. So just want us to be mindful of that, Cancer. So just some things to meditate on, Cancer. And just so last little thing, know that with this readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings. So apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situation, Cancer. But let's go ahead and get into your general energy of the day, because we do have a lot of Mars energy that's coming through here, because we have the other sign that Mars is associated with, Scorpio here, and this is the new moon in Scorpio. And this is the card to Go Deeper. And I like this card because I feel that when we do get curious about these fears that come up, as far as to why do I escape when things get hard? Why do I look to people when this happens? Why do I go to food when this happens? Why do I do X? Why does X plus B equals D? I know, love that math. But why is that math not mathing? Or how am I making that math when it's not, it's really kind of getting into those deeper type of themes, understanding those motivations, because when we do, then they don't have as much power over us as they initially have. Because when we don't know about it, that allows the energies to just roam free, to do whatever they want, because they can. There's nothing stopping them. So this is where, again, this is a real perk, too, of being synced up with the moon, because the moon self-reflection is a big part of the moon's work when we're thinking about that. The moon is the fastest celestial body in our sky. And she is taking on a lot of energy all the time. And so I find, when you're having bigger energy days as opposed to when things are a little more quiet, you can sink into this stuff too. You can see what themes are coming up and understand how we can adjust these things, how we can pivot, how we can soothe during these times. I know when the moon is traveling through, like, Pisces, for example, my chart's lit up. It's nothing but like trines and sextiles, and it's like it starts off with the square to the moon because my moon's in Gemini, but after that, like, she's hitting up just my Cancer placements, my Capricorn placements. It's a really lovely time when the moon's in Aries. It's a bunch of trines with my moon. Yeah, granted, this is square with my sun and square with my Capricorn placement. So Aries is a mixed bag. Scorpio energy, mixed bag. But at least I know these things. I can keep eyes on it. I've been keeping eyes on Gemini on times when I'm around just my lunar return days. Those have been a little different than normal. So, but again, you go deeper, you learn these themes. These energies don't have as much power over you. And even when you find yourself caught up in something, at least there's this awareness now. So, and that's where, again, Scorpio is about getting that power. And it's not always fun when we're finding out these themes and, finding out where what's been running the show or why it's been running the show. But it just keeps you so that you can tackle your passions, so that you can start leading with heart. Absolutely. Ace of Cups all the way, Cancer. Look at you. I'm with it. Let's get the rest of your cards here, Cancer. Oh. And are you excited, Cancer? We are getting ready to come up on. This could be a lot of Gemini energy for this lunar cycle here. Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going on. Ooh, interesting. All right, Cancer. Look at yourself. Oh, look at all these cups, Cancer. I'm with it. Oh, and Mars. Wow, Cancer. All right, so you have the Mars here, the Tower, and the Knight of Cups in reverse, and that's Scorpio energy for me. And then you have the Page of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and I was thinking about her, the lovely Queen of Cups, and this is one of our cards, Cancer. And when you think about the queens, Cancer, the queens are the ones that are, because when you think about the going through the, I like that how we got the page, the knight, the cup, or excuse me, page, the knight, the queen. The page is that fresh start, that energy, that curiosity. When we're talking about wands, this is talking about energy. This talk about passions, desires, and now we're getting curious about certain actions here. Where I feel this tower here, this is you and being in reverse. I feel like this is you starting to take an action, taking what may have been a tower upright from maybe previously in the cycle and turning it into something where, I'm tired of this thing having power over me. I'm tired of not knowing what this thing is. I'm going to take it at your own pace. Again, this is not something that we're forcing with Scorpio. And this is something where when we're getting with Scorpio, this could be where we may need to get someone like a Queen of Cups who has that emotional understanding, working with a professional. Maybe this is with a therapist, with an astrologer, with a coach, with someone who can help you go deeper and go there in a safe way and get that kind of that nourishment that is needed for this thing, Cancer. But where I was going with this, with the pages, with the court cards here, the pages is starting that fresh start. The knights is giving is giving those energies fuel. The queens, I feel, after that are giving this stuff form here. It's taking what the knights have done, and now there's a deeper understanding here. We're taking what we've learned and now we're putting it. We've gone from the learning phase, and now we're it's that few, it's almost like that in between state. I feel like with the queens, it's like where you're going from teacher into student and getting to that place of wisdom. But in order to get there, you have to get the experience, and that's the word I'm looking for. The queens is the experience that the knights are initiating from the pages. So this is a time to, when we're looking into these stuff here, Cancer, lead with love. And that's what Cancer energies does. We're the initiators of water. So we lead with love. We lead with emotions and lead with heart. And so when you're going to do this work on yourself and things, again, you go with that energy of understanding. And that's where I feel like Scorpio energy can always gets like misconstrued because it's seen as this darker type of themes, but it's in facing those themes that it makes you cherish the life a lot more. It has you lead with more heart. Where it's like, well, yeah, we're all going to leave this journey eventually. And yeah, where that can be a sad thing. That can it can bring up a lot of intense emotions, but it also can make you where you appreciate the moments a lot more, where you be more present in those times with your loved ones, with your friends, in a conversation. You don't worry about what time is it, but this, that, and again, we're being, of course, responsible, but we also want to just enjoy this stuff too, Cancer. And sometimes I feel you got a lot of cups here, a little bit of fire. This gives me like we're in a time of leading with more intuition here, Cancer, leading with more feeling, leading with more instinct here. But let's get a little bit more on this. Alrighty, Cancer. Get yourself. See what else is going on here. Alright, so you have a lot of people here. Little party. You got the Four of Swords and the King of Pentacles in reverse. And then you have the Knight of Pentacles and the Fool, Uranus energy upright, Cancer. Now this Fool is giving me this is a chance to go deeper. on whatever this is that's come up, whatever this is that we've been reflecting on, this action that's needing to be taken here with the Tower. And the Knight of Pentacles is giving, it's like it's getting a game plan here. It may not be, I almost feel like that. I feel like the King of Pentacles is not sure where this maybe is going, and maybe that makes him feel a little anxious. Maybe this is, maybe even the idea of facing this thing is making, just, it's giving me this, like, this restlessness, or it's not necessarily something that you've been losing sleep over, but that's something that maybe we just need to meditate on a little bit more. That's needing to, it's almost like the King of Pentacles is needing to, I feel like, that's interesting, kind of like face reality a little bit. And it's not, and again, that's not in a harsh way. It's more so meant to be like where, hey, this thing is keeping you from tapping into your state of abundance. It's keeping you out of your flow, keeping you from, it's like it's just keeping you from making things come up or seeing what is actually manifesting in front of you. You know, how your actions have, what these situations are really trying to reveal to you here, Cancer. This going deeper here too, Cancer. I feel this could be where it's like we're looking into going into maybe like a different direction here. I'm getting like you've been in this night stage for a while. You've been coasting at something. You know how to do this thing. Like, let's say this is like a job, for example, and maybe it's going to that state of from like person to like manager or something like that. But if there's a resistance to that, it doesn't, I'm not saying it necessarily means, you know, we're quitting our jobs or thing, but have we hit a ceiling? Have we hit a place where it's like I almost feel like this, and that's interesting. I almost feel like the Four of Swords here is wanting you to put a little stress on yourself, but a healthy amount of stress here, Cancer. Not something where overwhelming, but where it feels like you've been maybe coasting for a little bit, and now it's time to take on a little bit more. You know, really kind of, I don't know, get cooking in a different type of way here, and in this with the sun coming up in Gemini, with this new moon, seeing where this energy is happening in your chart could be a big indicator as far as like where you're wanting to maybe kind of glow up, where you're looking to maybe broaden your horizons a little bit. But let's get with all this Mars energy here. Let's get a little bit of advice from Mars. All right, Cancer. Last little bit here. Is that who I think it is? It is. There's the hubby. Nice. All right, so you have the Hanged Man, Neptune energy in reverse, and then you have the Three of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, and then good old faithful husband here, the King of Cups here, Cancer, and let's switch back over. And so here you are, Cancer, you're wise. Look what happens when you put in that work. Maybe we worked with people, Cancer. Maybe there was some collaboration involved. I mean, look at you. You're celebrating here. This is fantastic. And if this is not necessarily this, you know, and this doesn't have to be where we're working maybe in a group. This could just be where, you know, the Hanged Man, this could just be you just doing your thing, just taking that solo journey. Because the King of Cups for me is Pisces energy, and Pisces, needs that time alone, needs that time, similar to Capricorn and even Aquarius. Could use that time, the water signs could even just take that time to just be with themselves for a minute, to kind of reflect, to get where they feel grounded on an ocean, to where they feel that they are learning to ride the current a little bit more, and I even feel here with like the Three of Cups, how they're all celebrating. I'm feeling even a space where we're just talking about these things comfortably. Maybe you've in doing your this deep dive, maybe you've gotten a little separate from talking with friends, or maybe even co-workers, possibly. Maybe you usually were having a tight bond or something, but again, like maybe it's just the Hanged Man is like a time to get out as well. Share what you've been going through. It's just like, hey y'all, I've been, sorry if I've been blah 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 blah. This is what's been going on. Just kind of reflecting on these types of things. And I feel like, people would understand with this energy, these threes coming up here. It's just like, right, life has been lifing. And you know what, I can relate. Blah 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 blah. Oh my gosh, tell me about it. What did you this could really be where we're just having some just healthy vulnerable time and just turning it light, taking this utilizing this Gemini energy to come at heavier things with a lighter approach, and to let them be where we can learn something a little bit, see a different perspective, see a dual side of something. It's like, man, I thought I was going through something, but geez, you really were eating it. It's just like, and then it just puts your whole stuff into perspective here too. And it's not to say that we're not comparing crises, but we are willing that everyone goes through a crisis, because everyone has Pisces in their chart, and that's not what that means. But it just can be where I'm thinking with Neptune, the Hanged Man card as well, where we do learn to let go of these things and understand that there are deeper, bigger meanings to what is going down in this journey. So something to reflect on there, Cancer, but I think I'm going to leave that there. So if you like that, or if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this energy, Cancer. If you know someone who's been, just maybe keeping things repressed, Cancer, because that's a tricky thing, especially for a Cancerian, to keep those feelings bottled up, because if we don't know what's going on emotionally, Cancer's a mess. And so just share this thing, and then subscribe to Queen of Cups, hit that bell, and then tell your King of Cups about it. Both of you hit that bell, but I know you'll sense it, but just in case you got other things to focus on, hit that bell button, get notified of these videos each day. And then last little bit, if you want to know what's going on in the outside of lunar shenanigans, and you want to see what other conversation that the celestial bodies are having, come on over to my other channel, Alchemist Date. I do videos every Wednesday there, Mercury days, and what an appropriate day to share information. But I do videos there every Wednesday talking about that. It's just like getting a look at the astrological weather, what's our coat and attire that we're going to be wearing, what energies are we bringing, and all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, Cancer. So I can get you out of here. It's nothing crazy, Cancer. You get the Six of Swords in reverse here. But you know what? It could be something big, Cancer, because this is the Six of Swords is moving on to a new beginning, but there's something here that I feel that we're holding on to, a thought that maybe we're kind of fixated on. The Six of Swords, if I'm remembering correctly, is Mercury in Aquarius. And that's where I feel the mind is stuck on a certain type of thing. We've been maybe communicating to ourselves, that unconscious drive, that unconscious motivator, and understanding what has been keeping you from moving on, what sword or swords is in your boat, and taking those things out, analyzing those stuff, and then moving that, getting that boat a moving there, Cancer. Well, let me get your other oracle card here. And sometimes even when that thing comes up, Cancer, the unconscious drive, sometimes we don't necessarily act on it immediately. You got to process it first, because it's just like, how has it been running into it? And then it's like when it's like a great example. I remember when I first got like when I went to get like lessons for the first time playing saxophone, and my lesson teacher was just like, he was looking at how I was holding it. He was just like, man, I wish I would have got you a couple. Got you at the beginning before we, because then I had to relearn everything. And he's like, I had to learn how to reposition stuff, and it's just like, it's not going to be impossible, but it's going to take a little bit of work. We had to work out some old habits, and there would be times where I got better at it, of course, and eventually did stop becoming a thing. But even in times where I was smooth, every now and again, it would be like, hey, I see you. So it could be something like that. It can take a while to work that stuff out there. You know, we're getting where we're redirecting the energies a little bit differently. So, but Cancer, ultimately, I like this that we got this here because you got the hummingbird spirit, a card of joy. And this is something to be joyful about, these things that come up, because again, now we can take action on them, and we may not know how to take action on them in the moment, but just sometimes knowing that we're there takes a lot of the load off, you know, when we're thinking about this journey. So and I like this too. You know, just thinking about hummingbirds and how fast they vibe, or they move their rings. It's just like, I feel like we're changing our resonance, changing the vibration a little bit, getting in the flow. It's like, but they do it so fast and they make it look so effortless, Cancer. So, but I think I'm gonna leave that there. Something to pay attention to. But be mindful out there, Cancer. Stay present, stay grounded, tuned, stay synced up with the moon there, Cancer. Feel the energies. Pay attention to how you move through each of these phases, through each of these signs, how they relate to what these energies bring up for you emotionally in your day to day, and be fascinating information. All right, let me get out of here, and I will catch you on the next one, Mercury Day.